So in the latest episode of the Pat Bev podcast with Roan, Patrick Beverley hinted at some of the Lakers' underlying issues when he was there. Here's the quote. It wasn't basketball. It wasn't basketball. It was other expletive, Pat Beverley said. The other expletive that you really can't, pin or point out, comes and goes. A little bit here, a little bit there. What's he talking about, Jay?
So, Key, to me, this is a bigger challenge of playing with LeBron James. And, look, when you wear the crown is heavy. So I would equate it to almost like deep-sea diving. For every 10 meters that you go under the water, like the PSI, the pressure gets exponentially greater, right? So playing basketball with LeBron, I feel like you're 20 meters under the water just to begin with. That's the atmospheric pressure that you have. Everything. Not just stuff that you do on the court, but your game gets exposed. Things you do off the court get exposed. There are all these different narratives going around. Think about all the stuff that followed with Russell Westbrook, with AD.
Are you talking
Think
about increased media attention?
Yes, all of it. Just all the exposure. Even the game of basketball becomes more challenging because it's championship or bust. And if you're not mentally strong to kind of, handle the pressure and then thrive through the pressure, you're going to get weeded out. Think about Thomas Bryant. Reggie Miller literally destroyed Thomas Bryant on the broadcast by saying, how could you not want to play with LeBron? But for some guys, Brandon Ingram never becomes Brandon Ingram if he doesn't play outside or away from LeBron James, right?
But when you say mentally strong, are you saying that is it mental strength or is it a certain kind of way you're put together? In other words, your mentality, right? Really? But you can't be mentally strong, but that's not for you?
You can be mentally strong, but I'm saying it takes a different level of a person or a player who is secure with what they have because the level of scrutiny is different than any other team in basketball.
So it is how much
it's
of
different than any other team in basketball.
Jay, let me tell you something.
And it's the Lakers on top of that, Key.
First of all, I'm not getting in the ocean to understand all the other stuff that you just talked about.
You know what I'm talking about.
There's sharks in there, man.
Yeah, I'm not going down and understanding how deep it is. I'm not doing that.
Can we put a net?
Let's start right there, Jay. Okay. On top of that, I'll never understand whether it's a LeBron James or whatever superstar that I'm teamed with, the pressure of playing with somebody, because I've done something to get to the level. I may not be LeBron James or Michael Jordan or Larry Bird or whoever you want to deem as a superstar who carries the mantle, but I don't understand that pressure. I just can't. I don't understand it. I don't even know how to begin to say that it lessens you or weakens you or makes you feel a certain way because of media attention. And it has nothing to do with me, okay? I still got to do what I need to do. I still got to play basketball. Even if he's taking all the shots, I'm still on the court. When I get my opportunities, those are my opportunities. I can't shrink because I'm playing with LeBron James, especially if I'm in the league. Now, maybe and you can tell me because I didn't play in basketball, but I know how it goes in football to a degree. But typically in football, if you were at 39, 38, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, that guy on the roster, you're not going to get much time anyway. So I would assume that if you are that 9, 10, 11, 12 guy, you're probably not going to get much time and you're not a made man. But I would think that if you that 7-1 guy, you're essentially a made man. You're okay. You're safe. So why would you succumb to the pressure of a LeBron James? I just don't. I don't understand that.
But Key, I would push back on that. If you had played with Joe Montana,
yes,
that may have been that type of pressure. Or if you had played with Aaron Rodgers.
But I'm gonna do my deal.
Yeah, but Key, it's different though because you can do your deal, but everything is magnified way more.
It's much different in the NFL. It's very different leagues.
It's going to be magnified, Jay, because I'm the guy that I was the guy when I had to be a guy to get there.
Yeah,
so
but that doesn't matter though. You got 400 guys that are the guys to get there though, Key. There's still.
But of course, it's going to be magnified, and of course, it's going to be scrutinized, and of course, there's going to be media attention. But I don't have to succumb to that pressure and play less than what what I know how to play.
But it's not just the pressure, Key, of the media. It's also the pressure of your ass could be moved if he deems that you don't fit with where they're going, right?
Then I'm being moved. Why am I stressed?
It's all right. So you have a different approach to it. I would also say that basketball and football, there's no helmets. There's not 11 guys on the field at a time. There's not 50 guys on a roster. It's not like every market is a big deal. Some markets dead. See, sometimes even the market's decent, but the team is no good. People aren't interested. But when LeBron James comes to town,
it's different, man.
All eyes are, especially
listen to
you get minutes.
I played on big-time teams,
well,
Max. You can't tell me about media, dog. I done played in New York. I done played on a rock star team in Tampa. I know pressure. I was the number one.
But you were one of the rock stars. You were one of the rock stars.
But I also played with people that wasn't rock stars.
But, Key, did you ever play with somebody that had a bigger personality than you?
Man, that whole team in Tampa had personality.
Who had a bigger personality than you?
And Warren Sapp had a big personality.
Who had more power than you?
Warren Sapp had power.
Okay.
It's a different league.
But he's on the defensive side of the ball.
And
right?
also, Key, what you're
you're the offense. You are on the field at the same time. Just go ask Kevin Love about this. Kevin Love, people have talked about it. Kevin Love is an all-star. He's a perennial all-star who was very secure with being one of the top players in the league during his time. He was that dude.
I'll never understand it, Jay. You just said secure. I'll just never understand it because you should be secure.
Key?
And therefore, you shouldn't worry about
but everybody's not you,
doing.
Key. Everybody's not you.
Key, what you're saying is
Key.
what you're saying is that you are the type of personality that could play on a team with LeBron, but not everybody is. Obviously, not everybody is.
Well, that's their fault.
The fact that it's hard for you to understand means you probably have a good time playing with LeBron.
I just wonder, if they don't make a push, I wonder how we'll be talking about D'Angelo Russell in the next 10, 15 games. Watch.
How are we going to be talking about
Joel
Embiid pretty soon?
He takes everybody out to dinner, spends time, and I think he does try to build people. But at the end of the day, though, if I'm LeBron, I can build my teammates up as much as possible, but I'm also trying to win.
You can't do it for him.
I can't do you have to do it for yourself. But Key, just back to your point off Steve, there's one thing, if you were Minnesota taking 20 shots a game and all of a sudden you come to LA and now you're taking 6 shots a game, the pressure you have on those 6 shots, way different than the 20 shots you had over before in Minnesota. Way different when all of a sudden now you catch the ball, you got to make that shot. You don't find your rhythm. You don't have that lather.
Why wouldn't I have to make the same shots in Minnesota?
You get more touches.
Because you get way more touches in Minnesota. You get a chance to find your rhythm. It's like the ball being thrown to you 20 times in the game.
So you know what I would say to that, though, Jay? You know what I honestly would say to that? Get your ass out there early and shoot around or whatever and get your shots up.
Yep, I hear you.
Get your shots up. If you know that you're only going to get X amount of touches, it's just like in football, right? When I know that I'm only going to get X amount of touches, I now have to take my brain and channel it somewhere else on the field so I can stay engaged. I can't check out because I didn't get the first several touches during the course of the beginning of the game.
No, I hear you. Yeah, I hear you.
So
that's a great approach.
So you understand what I'm saying? So now I got to find a dude like Max and run his ass into the Gatorade bucket. Mm-hmm. Seriously, I'm going to find a dude. I'm going to find.
Why do you make you the manager? You're not the manager. I thought you were
No. Find a guy, meaning a guy. A guy that I could bully, take advantage of. In a football field, a small guy that you could just run into the Gatorade buckets and feel good about yourself.
Right. In other words, that's a very good approach.
I'm just telling you.
No, I get it. Yeah, I hear you.
They need to hire Key to be
I'm just messing with you.
They need to hire Key to be a mental coach for LeBron teammates. That's a
you want me to be hired for a lot of stuff.
That's right. But that's a good approach.
But the damn job that I actually do.
If your job is to hit the shot, come on, man, you can do more than hit a shot. Right, you can play defense, you could do other things. So
that's all I'm saying, Coach.
A very good way.
That's all I'm saying, Coach.
For LeBron teammates to plug in, right?
Yeah, but it's different though. And I get what everybody's talking about. I've been the player on both sides to a degree, right? I've been the guy, then I haven't been the guy. And when your minutes are cut and you're expected to come in and do a certain job, let's say you don't do that job well the first 2 games, then all of a sudden you're in a little bit of a hole, right? You're like, well, damn. Am I going to get traded?
Lose playing time.
I'm not making my shot. You put more pressure on each shot than it just being, just be reactive, just be yourself. Hold on, myself was, the ball was in my hands, I could do it. There's a level of adjusting that comes along with that pressure. It's different.
100%. Even in this business, I've been in positions where you're going to have a very short time to do something and a lot of people watching, right? So that should be easier. This is a short time, but you're like, uh-oh, now it has to be perfect. So the level of pressure you put on yourself to be word perfect goes up. It's the same in any walk of life, in any job, right? The smaller the window of opportunity, the more pressure it is to make that perfect. And so then you have to take Key's approach and think, okay, how do I take some of this off? Is there anything else I could be doing? How do I take the pressure off myself, you know?
And then don't add pressure. Don't answer a media question wrong on the Lakers. Right? Like, then that implodes. That becomes a topic itself. Then you got LeBron saying, why are we talking this way? Like, everything becomes magnified.
Well, it seemed like they all answer the questions wrong on the Lakers.
That wasn't the right team.
They all.
That's what I'm saying, though.
That wasn't the right team.
No one is exempt.
Think about what we did with Anthony Davis sitting on the sideline.
Well, that's what y'all did. He used his knees to clap. Stop it.
No, we didn't. We looked.
That's
we
what
saw
I'm saying,
the replay.
though.
It's like those commercials. Let's see the instant replay, Key.
And all of a sudden, it makes
we threw the flag.
It makes
there
you
was
think,
no clapping, no knee clapping.
Is he being traded? Does he have an issue with LeBron? And he's like, no, I'm just actually pissed that we're losing to OKC.
Tony in San Diego. You're on with Keyshawn JWill and Max, ESPN Radio.
Hey, Tony.
Hey, what's going on, man? I think you guys are. It's pressure, but it's more than that. LeBron doesn't utilize the people around him to their strength for his own benefit. Chris Bosh was a beast in Toronto. Then he went to Miami, and he became, hey, go stand in the corner and shoot it when we exhaust the defense. It's collapsed. Brandon Ingram absolutely would not be the same person. Kyle Kuzma would not be the same person. Bryant was right. He can't play next to LeBron because he was better when he was a big fish in a small pond than a small fish in a big pond. When you play with LeBron, I'm in San Antonio. Tim Duncan got everybody involved, whether it was Avery Johnson getting him his shot or Manu Ginobili. He played in a way where he still got his, but he let everybody else play to their strengths.
So I think you have some points. I think some things are wrong. I would say Brandon Ingram was a younger player on that roster, which is very hard when you're trying to live off the pressure that comes along with LeBron and ISO, when a lot of pieces around LeBron have been spot shooters. That's how he's thrived in the league, right? So for a guy like Thomas Bryant, I feel Thomas Bryant on that. Like, now you got three bigs on the court. LeBron needs spacing. He doesn't need other bigs. You're clogging the lane. Like, that's where the teams actually collapse.
Also, to compare, like, I get the comparison to Tim Duncan. That you're talking about one of the greatest players ever in Tim Duncan, probably his greatest attribute. And then saying LeBron, who's an even greater player than Tim Duncan, doesn't do this one thing quite as well as Tim Duncan did, where that's really where his greatness comes from more than anything else, right? Like, it doesn't mean LeBron's bad at it. It just means he's not perfect.
Just go ahead and watch Michael Jordan's docu, right? Like, hear how those guys talk about how hard it was to play with Jordan.
Oh, that's a dope.
But see, I thought that was more about not on the court. I thought that was more about in the locker room.
But Key, that's my thing. It's everything around it. Like, we only focus on the court, but there's so much happening off the court. The attention that he gets. How does he lead in the locker room? Who's he talking to? Am I going to get traded? Like, all that stuff factors into it. Wouldn't be the first time, Corey.
Corey, we got a chance to see LeBron with the new look Lakers last night. They win. You know, game one, he's back from the scoring record. It took a few days, and D'Angelo Russell, who they drafted second overall not all that long ago, is back and looks like it's working better than the previous iteration of the Lakers. Do you think LeBron can carry this team to at least the play-in game?
I believe he can. Can believe is the question, in my opinion, though. It's about, can Anthony Davis carry the Lakers to the play-in or playoffs? And when you think about it, I mean, the writing has been on the wall the entire season. If Anthony Davis plays well, this team has a great chance. LeBron is going to be LeBron. And honestly, when you make all the trades and you make all the moves, that should take some off of the plate of LeBron James. Anthony Davis has to be the guy that is really the best player for this team for them to be successful moving forward, not only offensively, but what he does defensively as well. And that's been the struggle for the Lakers this year. They're not a good defensive team. And again, Key knows it, Jay knows it. Regardless as to how many tickets offense sells, you don't win in professional sports if you can't defend.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.